As Congress feuds over unemployment payments, more than 1.6 million jobless Texans are about to lose an extra $600 weekly benefit. In Washington, it's still up for debate whether those enhanced federal payments should continue or not. On top of that, there's more chatter about a possible second round of stimulus checks. So let's get to Cathy DeWitt Dunn, the president and CEO from DeWitt Dunn Financial Services, here to just break down everything for us. Cathy, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So what is the government currently doing to help unemployed workers?
Well, unemployment claims hit a record high and the U.S. fell into a recession the first quarter of this year. And the CARES Act expanded unemployment benefits, giving laid-off workers an additional $600 each week. And that's on top of all the benefits that everyone received to the state. Well, the bad news is those payments are scheduled to end today, which is July 25th.
So there was some language, I guess, from Capitol Hill that they could extend that. Did it happen? Will it happen?
You know what? It's interesting. The White House passed the HEROES Act in May, and discussion and actions have almost been stalled since then. Congress returned from recess on July the 20th, and the Senate is expected to present their draft for a second stimulus package. So that's really good news. We're not sure exactly what that's going to look like. However, President Trump has mentioned a few different proposals, incentives of going back to work, perhaps extending unemployment, but on a smaller scale. So I think we're just going to have to see what happens.
I feel like that's a saying for everything. We just got to see what happens. Cathy, lawmakers, as you said, they have different ideas on how to keep helping Americans financially. So at this point, I mean, is there anything solid on the table right now?
Well, I mean, I think you have to remember that the first round of stimulus checks really help people. We had $1,200 for individuals and $500 per child. It's not really known what the final proposal is going to look like for the stimulus checks, but the White House, the Republicans and Democrats have come out in favor of additional stimulus payments in some form. So last month, the Senate Majority Leader suggested a possible income cap for a new round of payments and mentioned an idea of distributing them to those making less than $40,000. So I definitely think there's good news and there's going to be more money forthcoming.
So Cathy, you were just talking about the second round of stimulus checks and that, you know, this new package, it could look different from the first one. I'm hearing that some people could get less money than what they received the first time around. Is that true, or we just don't know at this point?
I don't think that we know, but I think I've also heard the same rumblings that you have as well, Cleo. So, I mean, I think we just have to all hang in there, and this is such a different time that we're in. And I think patience is one of the things that's really come to everybody, the forefront of everybody's mind. We just have to be patient to see what's forthcoming. But I know that can be very challenging for people that, you know, that may have those payments that are going to be ending today, so they don't really know where to go or what to do.
Right. You know, Senator Cruz opposing extending that weekly $600 payment. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, people are really in a tough spot right now.
Well, I think, I mean, I'm very concerned, but I think one of the biggest things is people need to really take a look at their budgets right now. I know that's a very difficult thing. I have a budget worksheet on my website, but you really need to take a look at your expenses. And it's just amazing when you sit down and you put your pen on paper to see what you're really spending and the money that's coming in and the money that's going out. You may determine that you may have to eliminate some of, you know, your elective, you know, monthly subscriptions, gym memberships, cables, and things like that. Or maybe, you know, you might have to be forced to maybe use a credit card, but you really need to take a look at your budget right now, because spending less is going to help you in the end. I mean, I know that sounds difficult, but if you don't have the money, the worst thing you can do is to put yourself in debt.
You're so right. Cathy, a lot of talk right now with people that have to dip into their 401k. Of course, you know, there's no penalty right now, but some people are doing it because there's no penalty, and some really have to dip into it. What is your advice about that?
You know, I think that you've got to be very careful. I work with my clients and they plan, you know, their retirement out 10 and 20, 30 years, because it's not like you can finance it at the bank later down the road. But be very careful. I know that if we take a look at the CARES Act, what it allowed is for people under the age of 59 and a half to take up to $100,000 out of their current 401k plan without a penalty. Now, you'll still have to pay taxes on that. So it's not that it's free money. And then you really have to evaluate where you're going to be in the future. So I definitely recommend that you work with a financial professional or your advisor to sit down and make sure that that is the right decision and there are not some alternatives for you.
Cathy, man, good information there. Thank you so much. I think you're joining us a little later in the show, too, because I have some questions from people that are watching, and we'll also get your information on our website at WFAA. Cathy, thank you.
Thank you, Cleo.